Panthers Saints betting preview here with Ralph Michaels from WagerTalk TV. Ralph with a very nice suit here. Let's go ahead and listen.
Welcome, guys. NFL week number 2. We are talking the Saints and the Panthers, Monday Night Football, an exciting division game. We have a 1-0 team against an...
Okay, so historically, 0-1 teams do pretty well against 1-0 teams. Divisional dogs do pretty well as well. But I have a little bit of a wrinkle here. I'm not totally sure how much any trend matters whenever you're talking about a rookie quarterback. Whenever you're talking about a guy who's been in the league or who has been playing NFL games for the better part of 10 days. Okay, so my preview pretty much goes like this. I think the Saints have the better roster. I think the Saints have the better quarterback. And I think the Saints should win pretty handedly. I don't expect there to be much offensively from Carolina. If I had to put a score on the game, I'd probably make it something like 24-10 Saints, 21-9, kind of in that world. Both of those scores leads to the under. I just don't think Bryce Young's going to be able to move the ball. I saw nothing from Bryce Young that would make me think he's going to turn the corner in a week and all of a sudden be good. All of a sudden be able to move the ball up and down the field. The Saints defense is legitimate. The Saints defense at every level. Defensive line is going to get to the quarterback. The linebackers are good. Secondary is really good. And it's all veteran players. It's all guys who have been in the league. They are going to give Bryce Young fits. I'd be stunned if Carolina has any success on offense. Defensively, Carolina's missing a few players. Carolina is going to be faced up against some serious star power with the Saints wideouts and Derek Carr and what the Saints can give them. And also the Saints have to prove something. Saints had kind of a meh week 1 offensively. So I would think the Saints are going to want to come out, knock that rust off, knock some of that unknown off as far as Derek Carr playing with new players, new system, all that stuff. And they're going to want to go out there and send a message. They're going to want to go out there and score points. They're going to want to go out there, get in the end zone. Something they were only able to do once at home in week 1. The Saints are going to want to, they have motivation to stretch this lead out. I don't think the Saints would be happy with a 17-16 win. I think the Saints want to go out there and get into that rhythm and show that they can score and they can move the football.
An 0-1 team. So what did we learn from New Orleans in week number 1?
Their defense is good. I like
New Orleans week number 1. You look at how they played: 351 yards on offense, 285 yards on defense, only 15 first downs. The issue with the Saints was this. Williams rushed for 45 yards, but only 2.5 yards per carry. Make no mistake, this Saints team, I think, will win the AFC South. I think
NFC South. Sorry, Ralph. It's a tough gig. Don't worry. Okay? I know what you're saying. I agree. I think the Saints will win the NFC South as well. As far as week 1, what we learned, or what I learned, what we all learned together, collectively, was that the Saints defense is legit. We said before that the one constant every year with the Saints is their defense. This year, no different. The defense is really, really good. The defense kind of won the Saints the game, or not kind of. They did win the Saints the game in week 1. I don't think we learned a lot. Jamal Williams, as far as that goes, as far as the running game goes, Tennessee's run defense, elite, absolutely elite, but still 2.6 yards a carry is pretty brutal.
I think they have the best defense in the division. I think they have the best offense in the division.
Yes.
The problem is this. Kamara is out the first 3 games, and he clearly was missed in that opener against Tennessee.
He was.
What I was impressed with was this Saints defense. They were dynamic. 3 interceptions. When you have the type of defense they have, they can win a game, which they needed to in that situation against the Titans. For Carolina, we had what we expected. You have a rookie quarterback going on the road, and he did not look good. 20 of 38, 146 yards, 1 touchdown.
That's the thing, guys. I mean, you're talking about 20 completions for 140 yards. It's check downs. It's everything at the line of scrimmage. It's short routes. The playbook is not fleshed out. I mean, you hate to say it like this, but we're not playing a NFL offense. We're playing like a fraction of an NFL offense. The Saints are playing 30% of an NFL offense. This is where you want to catch these rookie quarterbacks. You want to catch them early on. I guess the devil's advocate would be that you don't have any tape on them. You don't know what Bryce Young is going to do. It's kind of an unknown. But I would rather take the risk of that and face these guys when they're, bright lights and all that stuff's going on. Bryce Young has very little to work with right now. He looked bad in week 1. I would expect him to look bad in week 2.
Down 2 interceptions. Listen, we're seeing more and more rookies play, and they struggle in the NFL early on the road. And going into a dome like Atlanta, yes, it may not be the loudest dome, but you're going to see issues. The Carolina defense did surprise me. Now, Atlanta starting Ritter, another young quarterback, couldn't get the run game.
They were terrible. Offensively, they were absolutely garbage. This is a bigger conversation. I might make a video exclusively on this topic. The whole idea of why we're seeing rookie quarterbacks play. Back in my day, hate to say that, but back in my day, that didn't happen. You drafted a rookie quarterback, he was going to sit for a year. He was going to sit for 8 games. He was going to sit for 2 years in some cases. You think about some of the situations like Aaron Rodgers, where I know he had Brett Favre, but he's sitting. Patrick Mahomes, he sat. It wasn't just we drafted this guy, he's going to play. I think it does a disservice to these quarterbacks. I have always said quarterbacks that started early, like Matt Leinart, you don't know what those guys could have done if they were given a year to sit and develop. All the busts, big-time bust quarterbacks, most of them start early. Most of them get thrown in there and struggle. Peyton Manning, go look at his rookie year. Peyton Manning was absolutely terrible. Absolutely awful for his rookie year in the NFL. If you just look at his rookie year, you would have said this guy is garbage. But we all know how that played out. But I just think it's so hard to come in and be good immediately. It's so rare. I don't know if it's because of the media markets and because of how just the 24/7 news cycles affected sports, where there's such a spyglass on every single team, where if you draft a top 10 quarterback, everyone's looking at you to when you're going to play this guy. I don't know if that's why teams are willing to put their guy out there. I'm not sure if it's the fan situation. I'm not sure if it's a social media thing where the voice is so loud that the front office and the ownership group just says, we're playing the young guy. I'm not exactly sure why it happened, but one thing we can be sure about is that 90% of the time, rookie quarterbacks who play week 1 struggle, and they struggle early. It happened this year all across the board. Indianapolis lost, struggled. Houston lost, struggled. Carolina lost, struggled. Is that all of them? I feel like I'm missing one. It might be all 3. Is that all? Top of my head, I think that's it. They struggle. It just happens. So I'm backing that's going to happen more. As far as betting, I think the line is a bit heavy. I would attack this more the under. I would attack this more where the only way the Panthers are going to keep this close is if it's a defensive game and it's a slow game, kind of like I was outlining. I can see that 24-9, 21-10 kind of world, 21-6 kind of thing. And all of those numbers are the under. So I would go with the under, and I'm interested to see what Ralph says as far as the total.
Game going. Panthers held the Hawks to 221 yards and only 13 first downs. So even though it was a 14-point loss with a 24-10 final, it was a bit misleading. As I said, Bryce Young is a quarterback that they believe in. He got the start from day one, and he's going to have issues. The problem I had was he gets very happy feet in the pocket, and I think the Saints defense can cause him to get a few sacks, to run too early. He only completed 53% last week, and I think it even gets lower than that this week.
I will say, when you have an under, when you take an under, you do not want turnovers. Turnovers is an under killer. Nothing will kill an under faster than a pick six, trust me. With Bryce Young, you do have to factor that in, that will he turn the ball over? Granted, they are playing a very safe offensive style, but still, rookie quarterbacks struggling. If you're going to handicap that they're going to struggle, you would also got to handicap that they might turn the ball over. So that would be something to worry about, but
week. Now, with that said, me being so high on the Saints, even though they're still without Kamara for 2 more games and having a rookie quarterback making his first home start, there's a couple things that kept me off the Saints when I went to the database. One is very simple. The NFL is a league of parity. So when you're in game number 2 of the season, and there's a team that won game 1 like the Saints.
Yeah, again, these are the trends we were talking about. So when a 1-0 team plays an 0-1 team, I think the 0-1 team covers like a 62% rate or something like that. But again, you got to also factor in the rookie quarterback thing. I think that's important. Not all those trends are the same. Trends are dangerous when you have a huge outlying variable like a rookie quarterback. There's also a trend where if a team gets shut out, the next week they're like 70% against the spread or something like that. I paraphrase. It might be high 60%. But if you throw a rookie quarterback in there, that makes that very different. And not that the Panthers got shut out, but like the Giants got shut out. I wouldn't mind betting on the Giants this week. But if Daniel Jones was starting his second ever game, I would be much more hesitant because I'm thinking maybe this is just them. Like maybe this is just the rookie quarterback. Maybe there's more to this.
Playing a team that lost game 1 like Carolina, you go all the way back since 2010, and the 0-1 team facing the 1-0 team has gone 61-42. That is 59.2% against the spread. That right there is enough to keep me off some games. But how about this? When there's a division game in game number 2, and the opponent lost a division game in game number 1. So Carolina's playing the Saints.
Lost to Atlanta.
Carolina also played an AFC South game last week.
Ralph, damn it. NFC South. Again, Ralph, it's hard. It's a hard business. It's a hard gig. I understand that. Not everybody can do what I do. Not everybody comes in here, no notes, no producers, no nothing, and just rattles it off like that one take. Look. No one here is going to beat you up over this, Ralph. Don't watch the tape back and say, damn it, I messed up. Don't worry. We're not going to. Ralph's a good guy. It's okay. NFC South.
Losing to Atlanta, those teams like Carolina have gone 83.3% against the spread. So losing one division game in the opener is a powerful motivator to beat game number 2.
That's a trend. 83%. That's a great trend, Ralph. Very nice.
That situation, though, also calls for the under. This total, I think, is a very fair number to play under in this division game. I think the Saints still try to get their run game under tune. I think we see the Panthers rely more on Sanders. Sanders rushed for 18 times and 72 yards, but they're not going to want Bryce Young to make silly mistakes again. Yeah. I do look for the under here. The number's a little on the low side. But
yeah, it is.
Again, game 2 in the NFL, just blindly betting unders, almost 58%. Situation here being a division game in game 2.
Also, I'm pretty sure Monday Night Football primetime unders did very well last year. I think they've done very well this year. It might be. I'm trying to think the Minnesota-Philadelphia line. It might be 3-0. It might have been unders across. I know the Jets and Bills were definitely an under because I bet that. It might be full. The Chiefs Lions was an under. That was prime time. Yeah, primetime unders are usually pretty strong.
Calls for the under. Both defenses played incredibly well week 1. Give me the Saints and Carolina under. And folks, this might be one of the biggest weekends I've had at WagerTalk. A 5% college football play.
All right, we're not going to get into the plays, but I agree. I think generally I had the same game script kind of in my mind, as I've said multiple times with the scores I've kind of predicted here. I think I'd be really surprised if the Saints don't roll. I'd be really surprised if the Saints don't control the game, dominate the game. I'd be very disappointed if we have to sweat this one out. If it's 21-10 and we're in control, I'll take it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. What's your prediction? What's your score prediction for the game? Are you concerned about the Panthers? Do you think the Saints could be in trouble? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.